Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Triple D-O-A-G-H, man. We in the building. Now, this week, we're going to be taking a look at the ReBirth series from Konami, at least the trilogy as of now. Hopefully, they change that with at least either Metal Gear or at least Gradius. Jesus Lord. Now, we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to quickly just describe you real quick about what the ReBirth series is, and then we're going to get into our first game. Now, the ReBirth series as of now consists of 3 games: Gradius ReBirth, Contra ReBirth, and Castlevania The Adventure ReBirth. Now, what we'll be looking at today is, of course, Gradius ReBirth. Now, I'm going to get into a couple of things, why the intro is rolling, and tell you why Gradius ReBirth is so special. Now, the first reason why Gradius ReBirth is so special is a very rare commodity on WiiWare because it actually had a title update, which added a couple pieces of music. It also upped the graphics a little bit. I don't know how you can up the graphics on a Super Nintendo looking game, but whatever. But the effects they did add from version 1 to version 2 is nasty. Mainly what they did were they marked off all of where the secret stages were, all the secret stages entrances, where they are, and there's like a big major change in Stage 5. So if you watch a video from the original version and then play Stage 5, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you just missed that first part of our story, that first little blurb gives us the clue that this is not exactly a Gradius game, while it still is. Now, what I mean by this is that if you don't know, Konami, once upon a time, had their own computer system called the MSX. You may know about this through Metal Gear because Metal Gear Solid 3, the second version that came out was that Subsistence. Yeah, Subsistence came out and it had like the MSX versions of the game, so that may have been where you picked it up or somewhere else. Now, what's special about this is that this game stars 2 people from the MSX version of Gradius called Nemesis. And this is James Burton who we're looking at, and in a second, Dr. Venom's going to pop up as well. Now, they're the 2 main characters. Now, this game takes place in between Nemesis 1 and Nemesis 2. It takes place like a little bit after Nemesis 1, but then it takes some time to get from Gradius ReBirth to Nemesis 2. So, it is what it is. So we'll go ahead and we'll just take a look at it real quick. Now, game start mode. Now, we'll get into that in a second, so just ignore that, and we'll get back into it. Score attack mode. Now, this is the way you connect with other people. You play the game, upload your score, not a really big deal. Replay mode, you can save your best or worst attempts at playing this game. You can only save a replay, I think, if you at least complete 1 stage. You can save a complete replay from beginning to end, which is kind of cool. Now, ranking mode is that you can take a look at all of your score attack scores and the scores of everyone around the world, depending on how they have them jacked up. Now, one other difference between the version 1 and version 2, version 2 has the top 20 and version 1 has the top 30. Major difference, but not a major difference. Now, you may want to take a look at the how to play screen. I'll just quickly go through it and try to explain some of the stuff that's here. Now, it tells you how to control your ship and do all that stuff. It tells you, how to get power up and how to power up and how your meter works. It tells you that blue castles. Now, what blue castles do is that not only do they eliminate any enemy on the screen, they eliminate any bullets as well. So, just don't run into it all willy-nilly. Just be careful and use it as a strategic ploy to get farther into the game. Now, it tells you about the Big Viper's armaments. It tells you about missiles and doubles. Now, I'll get into missiles and doubles. Missiles, doubles, and lasers, those are your 3 armaments, and they all play a special role in what ship's the best for you to pilot. Now, it's talking about lasers now, you know what I'm saying? So, get into that too. Now, it talks about multiples. Now, multiples are a real important part of Gradius. If you've ever played R-Type before, the multiple in Gradius is like the force in R-Type. So you can kind of take that as your balance for the day. It tells you about your shields and force field. Now, front shields, can feel anything from the front. You get hit in the ass and your ship is a wrap. Now, force fields protect the whole ship, but it takes it takes less hits to destroy a force field than it does a front shield. Now, it tells you about just making sure that, like, a lot of times, like, enemies are dropping the sky. You destroy the thing where the enemies are coming from, no more enemies. Know that in order to avoid enemy fire, that you're going to have to be real careful about knowing what speed you want to go at when you're powering up your ship. It's real simple. Now, also, this is one of the things you may need to learn if you want to take Gradius a step deeper, is that learning that what's destructible and what ain't. Learn what you can blow up and what you can't. It will save you a lot of time, because if you're shooting at something like, oh, I think it's going to blow up, and then you crash into it, then you got to start all over again. Also, like it says, you can only pass through areas you can shoot through. Now, there are things that you can shoot through that you can pass through, and things you cannot. If you see, like pretty much the last plane explained is that if it's red can be destroyed, blue cannot. So if you shoot something that's blue, it's going to be an issue. And also, if you can shoot directly through something, that means you can go through it. It's one of the main important ways to learn how to find where the secret areas are located. Now, this talks about one of the differences between the different difficulties. Now, in any other difficulty other than easy and very easy, is that if you die while you have an unused capsule in your meter, you get that back, and you start out with a you can start out with a level one speed up, but necessarily you may not want to use that depending on your situation. There are some situations that call for it, but they're there, and you're just gonna have to make a split decision about how you want to handle that situation. Also, it tells you mainly about everything we talked about, is that how to get to the sacred stages. I'll get into that, but I won't get into it because I don't really want to take that extra exploration away from you when you play the game. Optional, like I said, nothing here pretty much. You can adjust your lives 3, 5, or 7. You can adjust every time you get an extra, you can make it harder, and even not get it at all. By default, it's usually your first is at 20, and every 70 stacks after that you get another extra man. You can choose up to from as little as 1 man up to 7. Default is 3. Now, like I said, you have very easy, normal, hard, and very hard. Now, we'll get into that in a second. We'll get into what the difficulties mean, because it's going to throw you for a loop. You can change your name as what it sets to rank as you post your scores online. If you don't never use it, then you won't never use it. You can change your buttons. Now, I will talk about the button config for a second. Now, you have a rapid shot. Here's my suggestion. There's no reason you should be tapping a button you should hold. It's real simple. That's pretty much it. Don't tap a button you can hold that shoots 40. It's not going to make any bit of difference of when you shoot something from when you aim. Because if you hold the button, you got more of a better chance of killing it with all the bullets coming out versus you pressing it when it does. Now, like I said, you have 4 different ways you can control it. The classic Wiimote, use the classic controller, the nunchuck, and the Wiimote or the Nintendo GameCube controller. For this game of the ReBirth series, I suggest the Wiimote, because there's only 2 buttons. There's only 2 buttons you really need, because mainly what you'll mainly want to have auto fire and missile to the same button, so you always dropping missiles no matter what, and you're always shooting forward no matter what. And have the 2 buttons as your power up meter, so when you're ready to power up, hit that 2 button. And the staff credit mode. Now, we're going to quickly get into levels and how they work. Now, here it is. In Gradius, as in most shoot 'em ups, is that their thing is called loops. And a loop works as when you beat the game, it starts over. Now, in most arcade games, not even including shoot 'em ups, like a lot of beat 'em up games, they have options in the dip switches or in the diagnostic screen that choose like what happens when you loop. That either the game will start over once more, it'll go forever, or when it ends, it's over. In this case, loops represent 3 difficulties. Loop 1 represents normal in the option screen. Loop 2 represents hard in the option screen. And loop 3 handles very hard. Now, easy and very easy are a whole different beast entirely. You can only play loop 1 with easy and very easy. Now, very easy gives you the shot erase of power, where if you shooting forward and bullets are coming at you, those bullets will be destroyed. So it helps you think a lot less about defense and more about shooting things that come at you. And in easy mode, nothing shoots back at you. It's what they call in the business suicide bullets. We're not going to get into that. If you want to research it, go Google it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here, and I'm going to get into the ships, and I'm going to get into a little other stuff later. So, man, I'll see y'all in a minute, man. It's your boy Triple. We get money.